the locker room talk, and it's this kind of conversation that you had, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. I'm not saying it's okay, right? But it's 3 in the morning, you guys having some beers, and then all of a sudden you're talking about, stuff in the past or certain things, and it's just that conversation. And she did it with an agenda. You know what's crazy? That agenda actually exploded in their face. Because look at him right now. Look at him right now. He's sitting with PBD.
Father who owns the school, the board decides to kick his own son out of his school. Very weird situation that happened. So we're having this kind of a conversation. And one of my kids just went to Yale for 3 weeks for some summer camp that somebody else was holding in Yale. But he goes or comes back slightly different. Language, you're kind of hearing what's going on, right? And I'm 46. I can't judge you because during my time, Instagram didn't exist, Snapchat didn't exist,
now the stuff is
YouTube didn't exist, phone cameras didn't exist. And let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff we did at nightclubs and army and videos were on the way we speak at 2 o'clock in the morning. Maybe not at this level. I've never said anything like this, but I understand that it's riskier. So at a young age, you have to be aware.
Shout out to PBD, man. Wow, that was... what he did here is master communication. Master communication. What he did here is to make sure Nick Fuentes defense. Come down. He probably just felt Nick Fuentes defense coming up a little bit, that attention. He said, you know what, let me just tell him, like, you know what, sometimes we can go to those kind of extreme at 2 in the morning. I did something similar. Very good from PBD.
You're a very smart guy. You have to be aware that that kind of stuff gets caught. It's going to make it to public. So one, the responsibility.
They're trying to destroy you early on. They try to destroy you.
Is on you, but two, you have a higher risk you're going through because you're part of the social media family.
Females do
not
that
social
all the
media
time.
family, social media generation that we didn't go through at 46.
Well, and I learned that lesson the hard way, but what is the lesson? The lesson is that this sort of thing, this is how political control is maintained.
Yeah.
Which is to say that we have a culture where you don't even have to do anything wrong. If you say anything wrong, ever, in public, in private, even if it's not inherently wrong, if it sounds wrong, someone might be secretly recording and use it to make you look bad and then destroy your career or your reputation. And this is enforced selectively. Like, let's keep in mind, take Shapiro, for example. And this is something I pointed out when this happened. When Shapiro was 18 or 19 years old, he wrote an article on Town Hall which said that population transfer is not a dirty word. In other words, meaning we need to take all of the Palestinians and kick them out of Israel. He's advocating for ethnic cleansing on his Town Hall blog. Now, you could say whatever you want about that.
Population transfer?
Yeah, transfer is not a dirty word.
Does that mean ethnic cleansing?
That's what the article defends, yes.
Can you pull it up? I'm curious because I want to be fair. So is he saying moving them from there to a different place?
They do that, yeah, they do it.
Yes.
Like you can go to, all right, so raise your hand to Ben Shapiro, August 2003, which is 22 years ago. Raise your hand if you have shocked at breakdown of so-called Middle East roadmap. If you're raising your hand, give yourself a nice hard slap across the chops. Maybe that will make you wake up from your reverie of self-education. The roadmap was doomed from the start. The Arab Rob, I can't see it. Enmity of Jews and the state Israel alone, no peace. The time for half measured has passed. Bulldozing house of homicide bombers is useless. Instituting ongoing curfews, users roadblocks, touch fences, many negotiations. Some have rightly suggested that Israel be allowed.
I love how PBD always read. And somehow, he always read like that.
To decapitate the terrorist leadership of.
Some
have rightly suggested that Israel be allowed to decapitate the terrorist leadership of Palestinian Authority.
Damn.
Okay, so rightly meaning they're in the right to suggest that Israel should be allowed to decapitate. Decapitate is what? I mean, killing is the easiest way to put it, but decapitate, doesn't that...
It could be, decapitate could be metaphorically used as eliminating threat or displacement of the threat. Or it could be literally, like decapitating, like, cutting something.
Mean to What is the actual definition of decapitate?
They mean kill the leadership.
Kill the leadership.
But if you scroll down, the basis of the article is when he says transfer, he's saying population transfer. In other words, saying this should not be stigmatized.
Where do you see population transfer?
That's the title of the article. Is transfer is not a dirty word. If you read the whole article, that's the whole.
I want to read
the
the sentence, Rob. Go lower. Half measure person. Here's the bottom line. If you believe that Jewish state has the right to exist, then you must allow Israel to transfer the Palestinian and the Israel Arabs from Judea, Samaria, Gaza, and Israel proper. It's an ugly solution, but it's the only solution, and it's far less ugly than the prospect of bloody conflict ad infinitum. The two populations. So, okay, can you go to ChatGPT and type in what does? Give me the word. What does the right to transfer? What was the word?
Well, that's what the article says. He says remove the Palestinian Arab population from Judea, Samaria, Gaza.
How do you interpret what he's saying here? You're thinking he's saying to kill them?
He's saying to displace them, to take them and deport them somewhere else.
To deport them somewhere else.
Country.
Okay. And so to you,
hold on. It could be something else as well. It can mean something else, like like October 6th. Let's just take advantage of that kind of a thing. You see what I'm saying?
Would you define that as ethnic cleansing?
By definition, yes.
But it's not ethnic cleansing, like just wipe them off the face of the earth.
It's not genocide.
It's not genocide.
By definition, ethnic cleansing.
Got it.
Here's the point I'm trying to make is that is an extremely controversial statement. I mean, could you imagine if someone said whites and blacks can never live together in America? It's an ugly solution. We got to take all the black people and send them back to Africa.
Right.
That's racist.
Right.
It's racist to say Arabs can't live in Israel. We should remove them all. He wrote that under his name on a blog, but he never got canceled for saying that. But I got secretly recorded when I was 18 in a private conversation, and people say, and he himself quote tweets it and says, this is concerning, to amplify it to everybody in the conservative movement. That's what I say. It is selectively enforced.
Yeah, but if he would have written this the other way around, let's say he's not a Jew, and he writes it about getting rid of Israel or making a comment about Jews, that would be the equivalent of saying having sex with a dog is the same as degenerate, the way you put it down. To me, that would be the equivalent, not this. And the reason why I say that is because in 2003, who's the president in 2003? It's not Obama. Is it Clinton? Is it Bush?
Yeah.
It's Bush. Okay. So in 2003, how pro-Israel were we in 2003 in America?
Very pro.
Okay, so this is a probably a 80% agreed message in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to time the temperature of when it was written. Like if he wrote this today, I am sure it's not going to be 80% support that he's going to get. So 2003, climate's different, fair. Continue, please, after what happened with that school situation.
Sure. So I'm at this job training. They leak this out to Reagan Battalion. This goes everywhere. And it was in that moment I defended myself very strongly because they tried to use this clip. And by they, I'm talking about Ben Shapiro, Cassie Dillon, Cabot Phillips. Mm-hmm. They think they've got it, and now I'm canceled from the movement. So I took that, and, of course, they're expecting you to go out and apologize. They're expecting you to go out and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But I said, you know what? I'm not sorry because this is a political attack. This is not some kind of good faith, because you said the comment is racist, and what I phrase.
To be honest, man, I'm telling you, when I'm very right wing in a lot of things, I'm so right wing to the position if you commit a crime and you murder somebody of a family, you should be a slave of that family and pay for the rest of your life until you pass away for that family. I'm that right wing, man. I'm crazy. With the statement that you wrote, Matt, I will start now. Do it now. Basically, just we need to clear up some of the bad apples, man. Somehow, this liberal idea, it might be coming from the Enlightenment period, right? This Enlightenment kind of ideas where it's not allowing Westerners to move forward and just do the right thing and do the obvious, which is basically we need to clear up some of our areas here in our country. And something is just now allowing us to just move forward with that. Yeah, back then, the United States, if they sent some of those people back after post-war Civil War, that is post-Civil War, let's just get some of these former slaves. Let's just give them a couple money, send them back to Africa, right? And let them just be rebuilt and just go back to where they came from. And that way we don't have to deal with all this stuff. But of course, man, we have to create more problems for the government, right? More problems for the government. But so here we are.
Is it that way if I was saying it in an official public capacity? No. But we tend not to do those things when we think we're in private, in confidence. You kind of understand that there's some discretion there. And that's not to say that I'm, thought I could get away with it, but we don't speak in a lawyerly way when we're among friends.
Do you believe that? You don't believe that, though.
What? That it's degenerate?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's immoral. I don't know that I would say degenerate, but I would say it's contrary to my values.
How much are you...
True, especially with Detroit. Detroit, Pennsylvania, all the Rust Belts. I agree.
You're saying that in that moment because you're trying to be a shock jock and you're trying to get attention.
I wasn't trying to be shock jock. Think about the question that was posed. Let's just back. I want to know what you think about this. We're in a private conversation. A girl takes her phone out, starts secretly recording, and says, "Is having sex with a black man the same as having sex with a dog?"
Did you know she was doing that or no?
I didn't know she was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
that was a curveball. Yeah.
Yeah. You
well,
gotta,
what is that to you? That's a setup.
Nick, I'm talking to you in a way as if you're my nephew or my son. Not in a, don't take it as I'm this to you. I'm not doing that at all. I'm just talking to you as I'm new to this game. I'm a business guy. So I haven't been, when I hear the histories, I don't know everyone's histories. When you don't know what you're talking about, you're right. We don't know the history of everybody, but we're willing to learn. We'll talk to everybody. The way I see it, Nick, is one of my kids is very political, more than I'm political, but he's in the climate. So he's always, yesterday he's at Charlie's memorial, and this was one of the most difficult days of his life.
And to be honest, because it was cheap labor, I think that was a great opportunity for the Black Americans to just, become better, right? I think, to be honest, man, I'm telling you, there were a couple things that were a mistake. I think Jim Crow, in a way, was a good thing for the country because he just kept everybody in check. Not only, blacks, but also whites. Everybody was in check during Jim Crow. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there was a lot of things that I now go back and I'm like, man, this was stupid. We just got out of World War II and we were just afraid. That's what happened. We simply were afraid of things. And we just want to just auto-correct this by doubling down or going the opposite way. Well, it's cheap labor, but that means that you gave opportunity to a lot of these Black Americans, and they start building families and have a better approach to life. That's not what we did, right? We just we went this post-1960s, and liberalism took over, and then here we are.
Passed away. I've never seen him. This is a very strong kid. 30 minutes on my shoulders going because of what happened with Charlie. He's sitting right there at the event, listening to everything for 5 hours, and he's loving it. It's not like, oh my God, I want to go home, I'm tired, can we eat, can we do this? He's all in it. The way I look at you and the way I look at Charlie is one of my kids is probably going to pursue this route, and he's going to go into politics. And I think you have an opportunity to mentor them to learn from the mistakes you made. Because whether you know it or not, you got a lot of kids that follow you, okay? More than they follow me. There's more 13-year-olds following you than they're following me. This is not sarcasm. It's not a shot. I'm just the truth, right? Just like you were following maybe somebody and looking up at them. I think you got to be careful, but I also think it comes with the territory. Like when I was growing up, I was hanging out with gangsters in LA. And I remember one day I'm in Vegas, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm in the street with a 15-year-old kid that's driving a car, and he's got a gun that I don't know he's got a gun. Guys pull up here to our left, handful of African-American guys. Where are you from, homie? Where are you from? He pulls out the gun. From New York. Boom, boom. I'm 15 years old. We're out there running in the streets of Vegas. Guess what? You got to be careful who you get in the car with. That could have been the last day of my life. Mm-hmm. Somehow I made it. I go upstairs. My dad see me. My heart's like shaking. That was the risk then. I don't know if so much of that is the risk today The risk is what you just did. You got to be careful what you're saying.
Well,
and that comes with certain, backlash and responsibility. But I also think, and this is going to get me in trouble, I also think we should be forgiving. I also think we should be forgiven for Ben writing that, as well as you saying it. I also think it needs to be like, listen, yeah, I mean, maybe he said this. I don't know his upbringing. I'm trying to find out mom, dad. I've seen some stuff with mom and what some of the stuff she said, and maybe it's the influence from grandma. It's not. It's Mark Levin. It's not like you had a racist person. I don't see that. But we also have to be a little bit forgiving, because if we don't and we stoke it more, you're going to get worse and worse and worse. Right? The next person is going to want to get even more and more radical.
Yeah, more radical.
Let's go past this one. If you don't mind.
I just want to say one thing,
please,
if I can, because I hear you and I agree with you, and I try to tell my followers now. I shake my head when my followers are trying to be edgy or edgelording, trolling, whatever. I totally agree, and I try to be a better role model now. And in politics, you do got to be careful what you say, because you're right. Everybody's always watching. The only reason I say that is to kind of paint a picture from my entire 18th year on Earth. I'm an 18-year-old college freshman. It's not like I was out here being problematic, being hateful, being a monster. It's that a decision was made that I had the wrong views. And because I had the wrong views, there was a basically ceaseless political attack, which is, I make a tweet about the double standard on Israel, and Shapiro's amplifying that. I have a show, and someone's calling my boss saying, get this guy fired. Maybe they're collaborating with the left to get me fired. Up to and including strangers that I don't even really know are secretly recording me, setting me up. The point is, they made a decision, this guy's got to go, and they said, we're going to use in a careless remark to take the guy out. So, people see, here's a guy that said a bad thing.
I don't support that.
And I'm not saying you do. I'm just explaining that's the side that a lot of people don't see. They see the bad remark. They don't see the calculation.
And that's why I'm having these questions with you. And by the way, I wish this podcast existed, because I don't know if there's one where someone's asking you for people to know, how did you become the way you became?
Exactly.
That's why I wanted to take this approach with you. But let me go here and hold you accountable a little bit. And again, feel free to push back. I'm comfortable with it. You're 27. You're no longer 18.
True.
So when you go a week ago and you're like, you don't need to do it. Here's why you don't need to do it. Dropping the N-word. Some of the words that you drop. I don't mind the F word, shit and all this stuff. I drop it all the time. I try not to drop it on camera, but I'm also not sitting here telling you I walk on water. And I say all the words, and I listen to hardcore hip hop. I listened to a lot of hardcore hip hop growing up. That was my taste of music. I don't know if it was yours. It was for me. For a person who knows how to communicate as well as you do, when you use those words, you get an average person to question your intelligence. And you don't need to do that. You're above that. You're so talented. Why go there? Now, if you tell me, Pat, I'm just doing it because I don't want anybody like you to tell me that I can shut up because I've gone through them. Fair, fine. You want to do that. I would just say, I want to show you something. Rob, can you pull up you ever read the book Power versus Force?
No.
Okay. So this book, Power versus Force, I read it like 23 years ago. I was 23 years old when I read it. Yeah, it had a very, very big impact on my life. The guy breaks it down on what types of leaders eventually get to a certain level of consciousness that they gain power naturally and they truly become a positive force to the world. Like, I believe Charlie's a positive force to the world. To me, I had, believe it or not, Charlie at #1 spot. He's my #1 draft pick. If I'm building a super team, he's my #1 guy.
Yeah,
no one was above Charlie. And there's a lot of guys, okay? No one. I respect all of them. I think they're very capable. But I thought Charlie was unique because of one specific reason. In this thing, he explains where if you look at all the way to, you see the third row where it says level? Mm-hmm. So go all the way down to the level. You see where it says shame? Mm-hmm. So shame. Like, I have relatives who are driven by shame. They're so tough to be around. They're living a tough life. That's not you. Guilt. I can't believe what I did 10 years ago, and they keep reliving this guilt. It's not you. Apathy. It's not you. Grief. That's not you. Fear. I don't think that's you. Desire. I don't know if that's you. Anger.